Thanks for tuning in. Okay, so my name's Wes. This is chapter 4. This is the fourth chapter in my life. I've been doing semen retention, holding in my seed, my life force energy, for 94 days on this streak. So I've been off and on retaining my seed since the end of 2024. We are now in November 2025. Okay, so I've had a few relapses, probably close to 10 relapses, about a dozen relapses over the course of 10 or 11 months. So, or maybe even 12 months. So, I mean, give or take, that's probably about one relapse a month. That's pretty damn good. Okay. So, this is my longest streak that I've been on. My other long streak was 73 days. I've surpassed that. I am now at 94 days, and I'm going to recap an event that I talked about in my last video. I was talking about how I was going on a date with a girl I had been talking to for about a month or so, probably closer to 2 months. Okay, and we went to the haunted trails, and I'm going to tell you about my experience there. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some female attraction stories, and I'm going to talk about um, how semen retention puts your life in easy mode. Okay, so if you're looking to improve your life and really um, leverage the benefits of retaining your life force, then you're going to want to watch this video. Okay, so thank you to all my new subscribers. I got over 70 new subscribers, so thank you so much. If you're new to my channel and you want to see more content that I put out, make sure you subscribe. Hit that like button if you do like this video and you find value, and then share it to other people that might also find value in this video. Okay, so let's get back into, let me touch first on what semen retention is for those just tuning in and do not know what it is. So basically, you're not fapping, you're not gooning, you're not choking the chicken, you're not you're not fornicating with women, you're not doing that, what do they call that? Hookup culture. What you're doing is you're retaining your life force, okay? And we're in November, and that's kind of where no fapping came from, right? No fap November or no nut November. People decided that they wanted to not do that for 30 days, okay? And in that process, people discovered that they started to see benefits from not doing that, okay? So one, you're able to you get that testosterone boost. Okay, so after about 7 to 10 days, you get that testosterone boost. You start to gain confidence. Okay, you start to become more social. I mean, this is over the course of anywhere from 10 to 30 to 60 days. Okay, that you're going to start experiencing more and more benefits, and these benefits increase. Okay, so you'll get a little bit confident in the beginning. You'll become way more confident the longer you go on. Okay, same goes with the attraction. Okay, so you might start getting looks at probably say about 30 days, but you're going to start getting stares probably closer to 60 days. Okay, and you might even start getting approached. You'll start noticing the magnetism of people, not just women. Okay, you'll get magnetism from all people, from men as well, not in an attractive way, but in a magnetized way. They are attracted to your energy. Okay, and I'm not the only one that's saying this. There is probably about 1,000 or so other YouTube streamers that or content creators that experience the same thing, and they're reporting the same thing. Okay, so you start to get this magnetism. People will show up out of nowhere and they will chop it up with you. They will just talk your ear off, and it'll come to the point where you'll probably like you'll get exhausted. You'll start to feel the energy drain, and you'll need to make your exit. Okay, and that's what I would suggest you do. Be careful who you waste your time with, because time you don't get back. So be nice, be respectful, make your exit accordingly. Okay. Um, but yeah, you're going to notice people coming out of nowhere. People are going to seek your consultation, your advice. They're going to come up to you with questions. I have people coming up to me at work all the time asking me questions, like the most random questions that how would I know? You know what I'm saying? It's not my job. Like, how would I know? But they come up to me and they ask these questions, and then you kind of let them know through, through conversing with them, and the point is made. Like they've realized that, but you start to realize that they are not leaving. They are still there. It's because they are magnetized to you, and they found a way, a reason to start talking to you. And this is what I'm experiencing. Okay, so I would say 90 days, it's like, so far max benefits. Like, um, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, now there are some downsides. Okay, so obviously there are going to be what we call haters, people that are bothered by your energy. Okay, maybe they're envious, maybe they're jealous, maybe, I don't, who knows, who really cares, right? Who really cares? Okay, but um but yeah, so they're bothered by their energy, so they will go out of their way to, um, maybe if you're at work, they'll get you in trouble, or they'll who knows, right? But you can definitely tell who these people are because they expose themselves. Okay, so that's one downfall. Another downfall is sometimes the energy is kind of crazy. Like, more often than not, I wake up before my alarm, and then I go to sleep probably later than I should. And, you feel like you're not getting enough sleep. And then some days it does catch up with you. Okay. So you'll have that energy, that constant energy. And then at some point, your body will be like, all right, it's time. You need to crash. Okay. So the energy can be overwhelming. The magnetism can be overwhelming at some point. You just don't want to be bothered. Obviously, the urges get kind of overwhelming sometimes. You really need to stay strong. You need to get up and go for a walk. You need to really, um, get in your mindset. I know there's a few other YouTube guys that I follow that, I believe two of them, I cannot remember their channel names off the top of my head. Actually, one of them I remember, I think it's Vigor Warriors 2, number 2. And I cannot remember the other guy's channel, but they both talk about breathing. Okay, I think one guy says to close one nostril, like your left or right nostril, and focus on taking deep breaths, and that'll kind of suppress the urges. I would say any idle time, what's the saying? How's the saying? Um, an idle mind is the devil's playground, I believe is what they say. The idle mind is the devil's playground. So definitely try to map out your day. Try to map out the next thing. Try to be thinking about what you're going to be doing, so that way you're not having idle time. I know just want to relax sometimes. We just want to lay down. We want to watch something, maybe a movie. Maybe you just want to scroll the internet. Who knows? But yeah. Okay, so those are some of the pros and some of the cons. Any which way, it's improving us because we're retaining our life force. We're becoming high vibrational, and people are magnetized. You'll notice stares from distance. Okay, so these people notice your energy from far. You'll see stares. Women will give you the choosing signals. So choosing signals would be long stares. They would be checking you out, twirling their hair. Um, are some other things. They'll get touchy-feely, so they'll, touch your arm. They'll want to high-five you. Any reason to really touch you, they will try. But yeah, okay. So I digress. I'm going to move back into what I originally was going to start talking about in this video, and that is going to be a continuation from the last video where I talked about how I was going to go on a date with a girl I had been talking to for over a month. Okay, so I had been talking with this girl. I had known her from childhood, probably junior high school, middle school era, and I met her. I met her again later because she's a mutual friend from one of my ex-wives. And yeah, I have two ex-wives, by the way. But she was a mutual friend, so she had come to a Halloween party, and then I think there was another occasion where we went to a bar, and she was with her boyfriend at the time. I was with my wife, and now my ex-wife, and so I hardly remember her. This was years ago, probably 15 or so years ago. So I had hardly remember her, but we connect on Facebook, and we were connecting. We got a lot of mutual interests. So we had been going back and forth. And one thing that I didn't really like about her off the bat is that she didn't want to meet up right away. Okay, so I suggest, and actually, no, I'm not going to pull the cart before the horse, or however that saying goes. So we talked via text and social media apps, and it would obviously, you're looking at this partner, you're trying to find out what they want, what you want, and then I let her know initially that, or she let me know, like, oh, I'm hard to get, I always say no. I've only had a few sexual partners, and I said, that's perfect because I'm actually on this journey, and I kind of told her my situation, and I said that I'm not looking, for that, at least right away, maybe down the line, maybe a few months down the line, we'll see. But I'm very selective with who I'm going to be sleeping with. So I made that very clear. And through conversation, it always would seem to come back to that at some point. It would get to like some sort of innuendo, some sexual, connection. Like she would tell me how she was attracted to me, and then there would definitely be some spicy talk. I'll just call it spicy talk. Okay. And then, so about a month ago, I think maybe about a month ago, she had asked, hey, do you want to go to the haunted trails? And I love horror movies. I love, Halloween. I said, absolutely, let's go. I'm good for Tuesday or Wednesday. And she said, okay, how about the 28th or 29th? And that was like literally a month away. And I was like, okay. Like, she's like, oh, I just need time in advance to get a sitter she's got a daughter. And I said, okay, whatever. And, I should have taken that as a red flag, but, I just kind of, I'm not in no rush to jump into a serious relationship. So we'll just connect, we'll learn more about each other and this and that. So in my last video, I told you that I was having this date. So we did. We finally met up and went to this date. We both drove separately. We met there. She had mentioned prior that she was going to be very nervous, that she was intimidated by me, and that I'm attractive, and she's intimidated by me, and this and that. And in my head, I was kind of like, okay, honestly, I don't know how this connection's going to go, in my head. And she's already like, she's already thinking like way past this, like, oh, we should go to this clown motel thing, this scary clown motel that's like in the middle of Nevada, that barely anybody has ever stayed the whole night. And she's like trying to plan, like, being able to see me like almost every day of the week. I'm just like thinking in my head, I'm like, well, wait, let's just meet up first and see if this connection. I keep telling her that. I'm like, well, let's meet up and see how this connection goes, because in real life it might be different. Okay, so we meet up, and um just right off the bat, I just feel like I was catfished. Okay, so she obviously takes angles and she uses filters. Not to say that she's terrible looking. She just definitely not for me. Like, I'll just be honest with you, and I wanted to be honest with her, but I didn't tell her till later. I still went on the date. I got her ticket. We went through the thing, through the haunted trail. She's like trying to hold hands with me and stuff. And it's just like real awkward. Like, she won't really make eye contact. Conversation just keeps getting super awkward. Like, obviously, like, if it's that awkward, there's no connection. Like, I'm not going to pursue it. So, probably about 5 to 10 minutes in, I already knew, like, I'm not going to pursue this. It's just, when right? So, we were kind of going through this date, going through the trail, and then in the first part of the haunted trail, there is a maze that you go through, pretty cool. And then you have to wait in line for the next section, which is the haunted trail, okay, that you go down. And while we're waiting in line, even before that, there was a group of girls throughout the maze, some young Latinas. Yeah, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I'm a sucker for some Latinas, okay? But there were some younger Latinas, probably in their 20s, maybe early 30s. I would probably say late 20s. And one of them was pretty attractive, and she was giving me choosing signals. She kept looking at me. She was looking me up and down. She kept looking at the girl I was, on the date with. And, had I not been with that girl, I definitely would have pursued that. It was just kind of sucks, because this girl was pretty attractive, and but I'm not disrespectful like that. Okay, so this is one of my female attraction stories. She definitely was attracted to me, and she kept looking at me. Okay, she kept looking me down. She definitely was interested the entire time we went through that trail. She kept looking back at me. Um, so yeah, we went through this date. We walked back to the cars, talked a little bit, and then I told her, I was like, I need to go. I got to work in the morning. She's like, okay, well, drive safe. So then she messaged me while I was driving, so what'd you think? Was I attractive? And I'm not the one to, be disrespectful. So I just told her that, you know, it just wasn't for me. I didn't feel the connection. And also, I had noticed when she was talking with me, she actually had on her ring finger, she had a ring on her ring finger. And like, why? So then, and then I brought that up too. I said, hey, also, you have a ring on your ring finger. And she's like, oh, this ring? Oh, that ring? I have rings on both my ring fingers. I bought those for myself. And I was like, nah, that's weird, you know? So, yeah, so I told her, and she's like, well, meet me after work tomorrow. I want to see you after work tomorrow. I want to try to fix things. I got my lashes done. I normally don't do that, this and that. I was like, there was no connection. Like, there's no amount of beautification that's going to save this. Like, if there's no connection, there's no connection. So that's the recap. I no longer talk to that girl. It just kind of sucks that I was strung along for over probably close to 2 months. So I definitely, if you're going to be talking to somebody, link up as soon as you can. Okay. That way you can see if there's an attraction or see if there's a connection. And then if there's not, you can split and go for new things, or just stay on your journey, right? Okay, so there's that. I touched on one of the female attraction stories. Another female attraction story. So yesterday, I went skateboarding, and I skate with this crew, this skate club, and we skate down. We skate down at the beach, and we meet up, every couple weeks or so. And one of the girls that I've seen there a few times, she's an Australian girl, and she's attractive, but I, she just seems more. I don't know if we align really, if that makes sense. Like, she's attractive. If I was in that hookup culture, I'd probably hook up with her. But other than that, I really couldn't see myself dating her. But anyways, um, we were skateboarding down, and she's just trying to, talk with me the entire time. Probably not the entire time, but a good majority of the time. And um, one of the other guys that was there took off his shirt, and it was kind of nighttime. It was almost nighttime. We were skating along the sunset, and it was probably high 50s, about 60 degrees. So it was getting kind of cooler, and I had worn I had a sleeve cut off shirt, so kind of like a tank top. And I was like, I wanted to take off my shirt, but it's kind of getting cooler. And she's like, ooh, take off your shirt, take off your shirt. Won't you? And then, so I was like, kind of just because she said that, I didn't want to do it. So, um, so I didn't do it. And I was like, no, maybe if we get hot, maybe if, when we get skateboarding and I get hot, maybe I'll take it off then. And I never did. And then she brought it up again later, like, oh, how come you didn't take off your shirt? It's like, like, you really. And then the other girl that was there, she's like, how come I keep, every time I show up, because we're not skating all in one group, we're kind of staggered. And she's like, how come every time I catch back up, you're telling Wes, I keep hearing Wes is going to strip, or Wes needs to strip. So, so yeah, and she kept asking questions about my personal life. She's asking, about my braids, um, stuff like that. And I could definitely tell she was attracted to me. So that is my other female attraction story. And then, so we're at 23 minutes right now. Let's just hop into how semen retention is going to put your life in easy mode. Like, no joke. Like, I can't explain it, but it just happens, okay? So, it probably starts happening pretty early on. I would probably say about a week in, maybe. You'll start to notice that as you battle these urges and you don't give in and you don't partake in looking at corn, replace the C with the P, and you're not looking at lustful things, you're not engaging in lustful acts, that you're actually starting to focus. You start to gain this focus on your goals, and you start to get more energy. You start to notice that things start going smoothly. Like, things start lining up in your favor. Okay, so for example, you could be going to a job interview, and the chances of you, if you're qualified, of you getting that job are pretty good, given that you had a good interview, right? Okay, so stuff like that. I would say, just if at your job things start to go smoothly, yes, you're going to run into challenges. Like, I have challenges every single day, but because you retain and stuff like that, you start to get that energy, and the things that were less desirable and more of a challenge become honestly easier to deal with. Okay. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it becomes a lot easier to deal with. And you'll notice people start offering you things for free. People will go out of their way to do things for you. What else? Um, you start to get pretty strong. I notice that I'm losing substantial weight. So I just weighed myself today at the gym at my work, and I weigh 173. I was at 190, and I'm at 173 now. So losing weight, I mean, that kind of coincides with some intermittent fasting throughout the day. So I said in my previous video, or one of my previous videos, that while I'm at work, I try not to eat. And then also I ground. I have a grounding mat. I talked about that in my last video. I'll link it up here, so that way you can see what I'm talking about. But I ground and I intermittent fast. I try to eat healthy. I try to eat like more fruits and stay away from stuff like bread and carbs and stuff like that. Okay. Obviously I give in, like, somebody gets pizza, like, I'm not gonna be the Debbie Downer and be like, no, I'm not eating any. I'll have some pizza, but I'm still losing weight, even though, like, I had a whole weekend of bad habits. I'm losing weight. I was 175 last week. I'm 173 now. So you saw my last, I think it was my last video, I showed you my physique. So I'm in the best shape of my life right now. So yeah. So you're getting that attractiveness. Things are going your way. People go out of their way to do things for you. You get free things. Things start to line up in your favor. Like, you'll notice that, like, even driving, traffic patterns tend to work out in your favor, more often than not. Yeah. I mean, that's really all I got. I mean, what life is easy when you're on seed retention. I mean, just the hardest part is obviously the urges, and the battling the lust, right? People tempting you. There's definitely going to females. There's definitely females that are tempting me. So that's all I really got. So if you found value in this video, please give me a like. If you're new to my channel and you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my channel. Share this video with somebody that you think might find value in it as well. And I will see you in the next video. Have a great day, my friend.